you will survive. So daily basis पे I have to tell myself 100 times you will survive. You will survive. And you have to survive for your family.
A beautiful day with Farzana Ali at one on Incredible Women platform. आज हमारे साथ हैं Amna Rizwan. She is mentor for startups and she has a very rich profile. आज हम सुनेंगे Amna से कि वो क्या क्या काम कर रही और मुझे तो Amna से डिस्कशन के दौरान लगा कि कौन सा ऐसा काम है जो Amna नहीं कर रही and how does she manage her home. So आज हम Amna से बहुत से tips लेने जा रहे हैं. Welcome Amna to one.
Thank you, Devasa, for having me. Thank you very much for inviting me here. Yes, मैं काम कर रही हूँ. I'm doing something, a lot of things, but obviously due to this lockdown and COVID period, everything is slowed down. But what I'm doing is recently I'm working as assistant professor in the University of St. Punjab by heading and focal person of their entrepreneurship division. Previously, I was working their entrepreneurship club as well. My academic background is I'm recently doing my PhD degree in entrepreneurial finance. Previously, I've done my master's and MPhil in finance and entrepreneurship. Recently, I'm teaching entrepreneurship and finance to my students and leading them different startups that is led by my students, and the majority of startups are led by my female students. And almost success ratio is around 70%. That is, I think, in these days, it's a good ratio. So basic purpose is to keep them aware from practical field as well. So I'm trying to bridge the gap between industry and academia. So that's why I'm going to prepare them theoretically when I'm in the class and practically afterwards as they are running their own business in those 4 to 5 months. And obviously, so by helping my students and by leading them in industry, by connecting them through a platform which I have made for my students where they are going to upload their ideas and they are going to connect with industry specialists, and that is a platform named Entrepreneurship Workshop. More than 6,000-7,000 followers are on that stage that are specifically those people who are entrepreneur or who are from this entrepreneurial ecosystem. They are mentors. And I'm working with Startup Academy. That is also a sort of training and mentorship for startups and being their main member. So I'm going to work with them in Lahore and Islamabad as well.
That's great, Amna. Amna, as you said, you're doing mentoring to startups. आप ये mentoring किस तरीके से करती हैं and how does it help to startups?
So as I told you that it starts from teaching them a simple course of entrepreneurship or maybe an extended form of entrepreneurship like entrepreneurial finance, entrepreneurial venture too. So from basic to main subject which I'm teaching, and then I have to lead them to a project that might start from class project and it end up in a full-fledged small startup. So not all of my students will do that full-fledged wala startup, but at least maybe 2 or 3 groups from each class. Or
so you're working for social cause too.
Yes.
Amna, here I would like to ask, abhi startups ke saath kya ho raha hai? Whenever they start their business, obviously they need some time for the sustainability, and sometimes what happens, they just lack the funds. So how you help them out for funding?
So basically, recently I'm working on these grounds as well, because what I feel like startups usually led by the students, especially the female students, they are lacking the fund. Once they started, they are having difficulty for scaling their business. So what I'm doing is, because my specialization is in finance and entrepreneurship, so I'm a mixture of two things. So what I'm doing is by teaching them entrepreneurship and then by helping my students and give them free consultancy. So not even my students, everyone who wants to take my advice or my help or my mentorship, it's free of cost on Entrepreneurship Workshop page. So anyone can contact me and can take advice from me.
Personal contact information over here?
Sure, why not? So
professional page or something like that?
Yes, I do have a page. I will share my personal information. That is Entrepreneurship Workshop. It's a public account, so anyone can contact me. And my email is also there. So I usually will respond in 24 hours.
Amna, you're a certified trainer of climate fighter. I would say you're a climate fighter too. So how does this project working for the environmental change?
So basically, it start from university. So some of our colleagues went to US, they were a member there, and we were also interested in winter. So simply, initially, it was just like to take some sort of certification and awareness about environment in travel. But after that, when there were floods in Pakistan, economic stability की बात हो रही है, then we were seriously engaged in that.
Since you're working with water conservation project too, so how can we save water? How you're creating awareness among people?
So there are many ways to save water basically. So once we are going to open our tap, तो फिर वो कितनी देरी खुली हुई है. So there are some my students who made water sensor taps जिसको जब आपको पानी चाहिए then you are going to utilize it. So इसी तरह से there are different projects led by our mechanical students, our electrical students, energy savers and like that. So water conservation because it's a bigger problem, so I was also assisting और मैंने उसके ऊपर भी awareness. So basically start from awareness कि सबको पता चले कि पानी.
Now let's get out of this serious talk and let's talk about some out of the box questions. How did you manage time? Because I have seen you are doing 100 things altogether.
Yes, it's a good question. Basically, it's about to balance your life. So you need to balance your family as well as your career. So sometimes you have to forego something for your kids, obviously, and sometimes you need some time for your job, for your further degree qualifications as well. So difficult but impossible. Difficult है but impossible नहीं है. But you have to be on right track. So आप track से इधर उधर नहीं होए, so you can always balance. So कम time waste करिए अपना और मेरा थोड़ा सा हर चीज को so giving proper time to everyone.
Who inspires you the most in your life?
My younger sister.
And how?
She is such a talented girl. So back in 2011 की बात है when she graduated from UAE as an electrical engineer. And she was in a team where they were making a tunnel for FIFA 2020 जो कतर में था और उसकी main team में. She started and she never looked back. So she's my inspiration. कि keep on working और perfection जो है वो मैंने उससे सीखी.
आमना की personality का कोई ऐसा part जो लोगों को नहीं पता. Because this is what everybody knows that Amna is a PhD scholar. She's doing her PhD. She's working on entrepreneurship, startups and everything. What people do not know about you?
Basically, Amna is a kind-hearted person. जो कि वैसे तो नजर नहीं आता, currently नहीं नजर आता है. A kind-hearted person, a sensitive person, जो कि बहुत कम लोगों को मेरे बारे में इतना पता. सब लोगों को लगता है कि बहुत strong-headed और बड़ी to the point और a fighter and something like that. But अगर आप इसके पिक्चर का दूसरी साइड देखें तो पिक्चर की दूसरी साइड पे एक बहुत ही kind-hearted, very sensitive, at the same time sensible और yes.
Amna is a co-ed fighter too.
Yes.
So where did you get that strength from, and how did you fight that?
Seriously, it's very difficult, and it's I can always say it's a game of your mind basically. Or at that time you have a fear factor, and you need to fight from your fear factor, and you need to ask once again and again to yourself that nothing will happen. You will survive. You will survive. So daily basis पे I have to tell myself 100 times you will survive. You will survive, and you have to survive for your family, for everything. So मेरे तो बहुत सारे काम भी पड़े थे. So how is it possible कि मैं but basically believe in Allah.
Thank you very much, Amna. It was a lovely conversation.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.